So the first awakening quest was pretty simple. It took like maybe 30 to 60 minutes or something. The second quest, not so easy, not so simple. So all in all, this quest has taken me about 12 to 14 hours roughly. This is from the point where I reached the requirement to actually completing this and having the awakening skill in my skill set. So in order to get the second awakening skill, it's not just a simple case of finding out where the quest line starts and then just doing the quest line. There's a few things that you need to do, a few requirements that you need to meet, and a few things that you need to prepare for before you actually start out on this. So you do need to do this as part of your main story quest. That's the number 1 requirement. Number 2 requirement is that you get to 460 gear score. Now, if you're struggling to get your gear up to 460, then you might want to check out my guide on where to get more materials from and how to actually upgrade your gear to that gear score that you need. Once you get 460 gear score, you can go to Rohendel, and in Rohendel you just need to complete that part of the main story quest. You'll get an arc from this. So after you've received your arc, this part of the main story quest will come to an end. So after you finish this part of the main story quest, you're going to start the quests in order to get your awakening skill. Now it's not just one quest line that you need to do, it's actually 7 separate quests that you need to do in order to get this. And these quests are going to take you all over the world. You're literally going to be visiting so many different islands and continents. So the things that you need to do in order to prepare for this, and this is not necessary, but it kind of makes sense to do this. If you've got the opportunity to drop a few Bifrosts in different continents, that's going to make your life so much easier. In order to have 3 Bifrosts, you do need to have the crystalline aura. If you don't have the crystalline aura, I recommend that you get it. If you don't want to pay for anything, then I recommend that you check out my guide on how to get free crystalline aura. The other thing you're going to need to do is upgrade your ship so it's a little bit more robust. Because the ships, they're going to go into treacherous waters, and if your ship is just a basic starter ship, then it's going to break and it's going to cause you no end of grief. So make sure you get that ship nice and sturdy. All the quests start with the prefix of journey in the quest name, and the first quest you're going to look for is one called Strange Mail. This will take you on a short quest line, which will result in you speaking to a bard who will give you a new song. Make sure you learn this song because you're going to need it through the remainder of the quests. This quest line doesn't naturally transition into the next one. You actually need to go and accept this from a different NPC, and the quest is called Until the Darkness is Banished. The NPC is just a stone's throw away from where the bard was sat. The remainder of the journey is pretty straightforward. A lot of the quests are just go here, do this. There's not a lot to them. There's just lots of them, and they do take a lot of time. There are, however, a few exceptions to this. There's a few strange nuances to this quest line and some things that may cause a little confusion. Now, the first thing you need to be aware of, some of these quests are within dungeons that you may have already done. So just go into those dungeons by yourself on normal mode, and as soon as you've completed the quest, you're free to just use your Song of Escape to leave the dungeon with no detriment. You'll also find yourself needing to go into a Guardian raid. Again, this is something that can be done by yourself solo, and you don't need to complete the raid. You just need to go in, find the location, complete the quest objective, and then you're free to leave. But do bear in mind that you will be given a penalty for leaving early. What that penalty is, I've got no idea, but it didn't seem to affect me, so I was okay with that. One of the quests will take you to a place called Facility X301, and what you're expected to do is to kill a particular creature at a specific location. Now, this is kind of confusing because you go to the location and no creature appears. Now, it actually turns out that the creature doesn't spawn at this location. That is the entrance to a dungeon, but the dungeon isn't revealed. What you need to do is you need to go to the north of the island and speak to an NPC known as Defective Product and take his quest line. It's about 3 or 4 different quests that require you to go and collect objects and then kill all of the robots on the island to gather batteries, which is kind of tedious and a little bit grindy. But once you've done that and handed it in, you'll be given a ticket which will allow you access to the dungeon. And then you can enter the dungeon, go through the dungeon. It's only short, but it's a lot of fun. And then you'll be able to complete that part of the quest line. On the penultimate quest line, you'll come across a guy called Herbalist Kobe, or Kobe, not sure how to pronounce it. And you'll be looking for evidence. It's the quest Look for Evidence, where Ammon was attacked. Now, it's kind of annoying to find this because there's no little icon above the evidence that you're looking for. There's no like sort of glowing diamond like you normally see. So this particular item is actually not far away from where Herbalist Kobe's actually stood. It's just a little bit up from him on the cliff line. Further along on this same quest, you'll find that you go to another island, but the guy won't let you progress the quest. He says explore the island. And what you need to do in this particular case is you do need to take another quest. So there's a purple exclamation mark when you enter the island. So take that as you land there, because that's what you need to complete in order to progress the quest. This quest line in itself is quite a long one, but this one is a lot of fun, so don't get too mad about having to do it first. So that's pretty much all the nonsense that I think I remember coming across within this huge adventure, I suppose. So finally, in the very, very last quest, you end up speaking to the bard on top of a cliff, and he's the guy that will give you your awakening skill. So this will be deposited into your inventory. In my case, my inventory was full, so it went into my pet inventory. Then all you need to do is find it. It'll show the name of the skill, and you just use that by clicking on it, and it'll add it to your skills. So if you found this really helpful, then give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions about the quest lines, then please ask in the comments. I may not be able to answer the questions because I've only got my own experiences that I can speak from. Things may be different depending on classes. I'm not 100% sure on that, but hopefully they'll be the same, generally speaking. Let me know in the comments, and hopefully either myself or someone in the community will be able to answer your questions. And if you would like more content like this explaining how stuff gets done, then hit that subscribe button and maybe that bell notification icon, and then you'll be kept up to date with all the latest news, tips, tricks and guides for Lost Ark. I'll see you in the next one.